you need to let us know if we are kind of freezing, giving a holiday, tax holiday for 10 years. No. This is very important to understand this so that we know whether to support you or not to support you. Are you saying that the period is frozen for 10 years? Within that period, there will be no growth. That is number one. But as I understand it, these things are progressively done every other 3 to 4 years. And every year, we have a finance bill coming. And in that finance bill coming, National Assembly will always revise as it is necessary. So there are two things. If we fear that the problem will be that we will not extend as it will come in the financial bill, then you need to work out an amendment between you and the majority leader to give us 3 or 4 years renewable by the House when we come on financial. But it makes no sense to me that you can freeze for 10 years. 10 years, a tax holiday. I mean, it's not a tax holiday, a capitation. You cannot freeze for 10 years.
What's the point?
It does not make sense to me.
Do you wish to be informed by Honorable Kimani? Proceed.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Chair and then leader.
Honorable Chair, I think the MP for Ruaraka is not well appraised of this matter.
I can see this. He has not internalized very well.
The point in question is not a tax problem. It is the core capital.
It is the core capital growth
for the financial institutions.
Yes.
However, Honorable Chair, so that we make progress, Honorable Chair, we have consulted with the members of my committee and we have consulted with the majority leader. And now I'm moving an amendment in an amended form so that we can get a compromise where the banks will have time to comply with the core capital, and again, not so long that there are risks of also those banks collapsing with people's deposits. And in any case, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, as I explained, most of the banks are already compliant. So already 18 of these banks are above 6 billion shillings core capital already. Only 6 are between 5 and 3 billion. And therefore, if we get a compromise of instead of 10 years, or instead of what is proposed in the bill within 3 years, we say like 5 years, then that is a reasonable time for these banks to comply.
Can I have a majority leader you wish to? And then Benjamin.
Just a point of information I was giving the member for Ruaraka.
But he's not on the floor anymore.
Well, as a point of information to the House, because since he had conceded, and also to set the record straight, Honorable Speaker. Because what we are talking about, core capital of a bank. If you can protect me from these members who are making noise behind me. Core capital of a bank, Honorable Speaker.
They're consulting, they're not making noise. Proceed.
Is about, forget the capital owners, yes, the bank owners. It is about your constituents, the people who have elected you to represent them here. People who will never raise billions. People who walk into a bank to deposit their hard-earned 1,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings, 100,000. When these banks collapse because of inadequacy of capital, and I want to agree with Caroli at times mismanagement, it is your constituents who suffer, not the capital owners. Therefore, this House can never be seen to be defending and speaking on behalf of capital owners. Point number one. Point number two, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable TJ is right. This House legislates every year and every day. If we legislate today, nothing stops this House from changing legislation if we find that any of the 6 banks that have not met that threshold are unable to meet validly. To protect our people, Honorable Speaker. And I say this because I want to speak to the people of Kikuyu and the people of Kenya who put their hard-earned deposits in banks. The Honorable TJ is right. This House has legislated before on the core capital requirements for insurance companies in the same financial sector. and we gave a graduated program as we are doing now. And when at times they were unable to meet that threshold, we would come back and re-legislate in a finance bill. What is so special about these banks today, Honorable Speaker? And I want to prevail on members to agree to the position that we have agreed on, a compromise that in the first 2 years, the banks do comply to raise their core capital to 5 billion shillings. Only 6 commercial banks have not met that threshold as we speak today. In another 5 years, up from the 4 years that was in my amendment, Honorable Speaker, everybody complies to that 10 billion shillings. Should there be legitimate cause to re-legislate, you still be members of parliament. At least a good number of you. You come back and re-legislate.
Fair enough.
But serve your core business by protecting depositors, not capital owners.
Benjamin Lagat. Order. Let's listen to Benjamin Lagat.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Of course, I was supporting the position of the committee because I'm the vice chairman of the committee, but I want to support the compromise position. And Mr. Speaker, 1 billion core capital has been working for the last 8 years. So if we come back and say we want to increase it within 1 year by 100%, Mr. Speaker, that is very stiff. And to get 1 billion, Mr. Speaker, is not very easy. In fact, if we were to go that direction, it means the banks will not be lending for the next 4 years to the public because now they have to struggle to get money to become the core capital of their business. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to support the compromise position. And, Mr. Speaker, we must give time for these businesses to get the money to be able to capitalize themselves. Thank you.
So, Benjamin, your position, you debated something purely on a certain position, but what exactly are you proposing now?
I have said I support the compromise position of 5 years, but definitely 8 years would have been.
But on the other hand, you're saying that by raising 2 billion in a year is too much. I mean,
yes, I've said 1 billion shillings
is a lot.
Has been the core capital for the last 8 years.
Yes.
And we have fairly operated well with the 1 billion.
So
now we are saying we want to raise the 3 billion in 2 years, which is 1.5 billion per year, which is still a lot of money, Mr. Speaker. But since now we have, that is the compromise position that we have, then I support that one.
The Honorable, yes.
Point of order.
Yes.
If there is a compromise on such a serious issue such as this, it has to be reduced in writing and members must see the text before we are able to pass or vote on it. Thank you.
I want to hear Ndikiri and the Honorable Chair of...
the Chair, I'm concerned about the new entrants and those ones who would like to start a business. If we are going to legislate and come up with a law that pegs a certain volume of the capital, and they are new, upcoming, we needed to have whether they will have adequate time to raise that share capital, core capital. I think it is very important because we are saying that it is not that we are going to have 24 banks in Kenya. We need to leave room for others to grow and become very competitive. So if we are going to pass a law that is only looking at 24 banks, I don't think that will be doing very good justice to all those interested in coming up with the business to do with the banking. Because we have seen circles which want to grow. And I know if we use the same principle, of core capital, there's more upcoming circles which want to turn into banks will be curtailed from putting up their bid to become bankers in this country.
Honorable members, can I just do some explanation? I'm not a finance person, but I just want to understand it. The original amendment by the by the majority leader was that the 10 billion should be raised in 4 years. In 3 years. Okay. No, 4 years. It's 4 years. Order, in 4 years. The amendment by the Finance Committee was in 8 years. And now you want to reach a compromise of 5 years. That is a position. So if you understand it, then debate on the basis of that. Fair enough, Rindikiri. It's your moment. Has you contributed? You have contributed. The Honorable DK.
I think mine is just on a clarification. You know we are an house of